confessions. This is high confessions. This is high confessions. Look who you tried to save. Look how they tried to do you. You only pumped your brakes because they was trying to move you. There are higher stakes. They just be trying to confuse you. They trying to make you break. But I refuse to. We're bound with blessings. Done stressing my way in depression. I've learned my lesson. I've read a word from his message. This is my confessions. This is high confessions. This is high confessions. Look who you tried to save. Look how they tried to do you. You only pumped your brakes because they was trying to move you. There are higher stakes. They just be trying to confuse you. They trying to make you break. But I refuse to. We're bound with blessings. Done stressing my way in depression. I've learned my lesson. I've read a word from his message. This is my confessions. This is high confessions. This is high confessions. Look who you tried to save. Look how they tried to do you. You only pumped your brakes because they was trying to move you. There are higher stakes. They just be trying to confuse you.
Welcome. We welcoming everybody in. Give people time to come on in. This is your girl Celeste, or better known as Say Less T, and this is High Confessions 369, and we just to get into it. Hey y'all.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm going to let the panel introduce themselves. Some quick reminders. Let's make sure the background is silent if possible, so we won't get copyrighted and we won't have to do too much editing. Instead, we're going to try not to talk over each other, and let's go. Let's introduce each other.
Yo, what's up? My name is Tokyo. I'm the production, director here. So I'm here to keep everything running smoothly, mute people who needs to be muted when they doing too much, you know what I mean? That's my role, my job. So y'all can't get mad at that, okay?
I guess I'll go. It's Kevin K from the East Side Pittsburgh. What it do?
What it do?
All right. It's BB Yosai from Big Vault. You know what I mean?
Hey.
Is that Nation?
Yes, I'm in the podcast. I made it.
Yay!
Yes, sir. Ski Nation's in the chat.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me on the episode. I'm just here to support. I do marketing and I do media. I do everything media, entertainment. So I'm just here to support what's going on and maybe give my 2 cents where I can.
Right. Welcome.
All right.
So we got a lot of stuff to dive in today. One of the big topics, is the Nolan case. That one is a heavy one. You feel me? In Mississippi, where I'm from. So we're going to have to dive into that one. We got Usher, that concert. You feel me? So we're going to dive into all this stuff. Tokyo, take it.
I got you. Let me play this first video where this guy, he's kind of doing a whole rundown of the Nolan Wells case, and then we got other videos giving more information about that.
I've been seeing Nolan Wells' face all over social media and in the news, and I think that's great. However, because these gentlemen deleted all their social media accounts before Nolan Wells' body was even found, we haven't really been able to see them in the media. These are the 5 men who are alleged to have been with Nolan on that island. These are their names, these are their faces, and we should know them and see who they are. So Eli, Eric, Warren, Wyatt, Morgan. We should see their faces, we should know their names too. This case has really reminded me, man. I remember I was coming up and I thought my mom was just so prejudiced, about stuff. She would tell me different things and talk to me about dealing with police and, the things that I would have to worry about. And I would push back against what she would tell me. And all she would say is, just keep living. Just keep living. And as an adult, I understand. I understand what she meant by keep living. How do you leave without your friend? And even if you left without your friend, how do you have his phone? And not only you have his phone, but you didn't turn it over to his parents. You kept it. And if it wasn't for Life 360, they wouldn't have found his phone. It just reminds me, I remember when the Kendrick Johnson thing was happening, they found that boy rolled up in a mat at school. Whether it's Jelani Day, really Tamla Horsford, I think is her name. Like, back to Emmett Till, like it's a repeat offense. It happens way too much. They had to send this boy's body to Washington, D.C. to have an autopsy done. One of the boy's mom, stepmom, is a judge. She already released a statement. And what's really alarming is that I'm seeing more and more content that wants to point the finger in other directions. No, let's figure out what's going on with his friends first. And also, allegedly, they were at lunch and they said, well, y'all already decided that we did it. What do you mean? Your friend is missing. Why aren't you helping his parents search for him? Why aren't you going through his phone and his deleted text messages? Like, I'm not surprised. It's just so hurtful how disposable we are to them. Nolan Wells deserves so much more. I hope his family gets justice. I hope that the truth is revealed. I hope they can do a forensic search on their phones and figure out what they were deleting in there. And it just makes me sad, man. Prayers to the family. I've been seeing Nolan Wells' face all over social media.
My bad, I got it on a loop.
And one thing about that I find funny is he seemed genuinely surprised. You know what I mean? He seemed genuinely surprised. I don't know why we still surprised by shit. I don't know why we shocked by all of this shit. He seemed genuinely surprised. I was shocked that this is people are capable of this type of shit. It's the same shit that they've been doing. You know what I mean? It's the same shit.
Like history repeating itself all over again, and they keep telling us we need to forgive and we need to forget, but how can we when it's a continuous pattern? You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. It's not one, it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, constantly, month after month, and nothing is happening. We need to seek justice. We need to find out the truth. And if they can't provide that, then in my eyes, they guilty. They withholding information that they know. And if they're providing the information, they're not doing it in the right way because they making themselves look guilty.
Yes,
Yeah.
I totally agree because I understand why he's surprised and not surprised at the same time, because it's like I grew up and I was always warned to be safe because I'm a black woman, a black young girl, and I mainly had a lot of white friends, so I was constantly reminded to, always be aware of my surroundings. And it's you won't think it will happen to you until someone else influenced that person to do those things to you.
Correct.
That's how most people kind of target that friend to make you think that wouldn't happen to you, but it actually did, due to them being just influenced by the wrong people. So it's not surprising due to that factor, but at the same time, it shouldn't be surprising due to it being a constant cycle, you know,
Yeah.
because it is like history. It's
I mean,
happened times and times again where white people have done the black people wrong.
right. Like,
And we don't get taught that much to where it is kind of erasing the young minds to be like, oh, like y'all just tripping. No, we're not tripping. They're just not teaching you that to where you'll go out into this predicament and now this happened. It's not y'all fault, but it's the nation's fault because they are trying to kill us off. They're starting with the young people by not teaching us this.
Yeah, that's that perpetual hate. Perpetual means forever. They're gonna forever hate us, regardless.
I said,
Regardless.
they hate us because they ain't us.
Exactly. That's one heck of a slogan.
All they could
You know,
do is hide
we
that
the
they. All they could do is
we the
hide that it's something else. You know what I mean? And that's how they get us because they hide it in the other shit, but they still feel the same. As these other motherfuckers. They just hide it. Because they parasites as well. So
I just know we got to start breaking the pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not trying to enter into no new Jim Crow or anything like that. But, we need to make sure our men and women, our melanated men and women, still see another day.
yeah, it starts with self.
But they have to use their own discernment too. They can't be naive and just feel like things like this would never happen to them.
no, well, as of right now, this is their kingdom, so it's not going to happen to them. Not until their kingdom fall, and their kingdom ain't gonna fall until we get unity. You know what I'm saying? To our people get unity.
I think
This is
I'm gonna add a little bit, like based on what Tokyo said. Like I grew up in different environments. The first place that I was born was in Connecticut. There's a lot of stigma outside of Connecticut that it's not black and there's no people of color. When in fact there's so much more people of color in the inner city of Hartford than people they expect. And so I still managed to go from inner city to living in a suburb, and this is not surprising. The Nolan situation, I hate to say it. I moved from a suburb in Connecticut to a suburb in Florida. Um, and if you know what you know about Florida, the people there in a lot of ways are worse because they're enabled. No one cares a lot more. And mind you, I didn't even see the movie Rosewood yet. And I believe that takes place in
mm,
northern Florida or southern
Mississippi.
Georgia, like right after
Rose,
Florida.
that movie was
Rosewood take
dead.
place in Mississippi, I believe.
Does
No,
it?
it was
It's
in Rosewood was in Florida, but that was a serious
oh,
movie.
Yeah. So it took, oh my God, it blew my cap back when I seen that's what happened in Florida. And you got to realize, like Tokyo said, young people are being handicapped from the information. So young people don't have a way to gravitate around protection the same way. So Nolan's parents, I wouldn't think that they're naive. I think that they truly didn't see any racism signs. And racism is very nefarious and is very insidious, and it hides and it burrows itself inside people like envy and jealousy. So it's not until it's too late. You have to pick up on microaggressions. You have to pick up on those facial expressions, those changes towards you, the whisper and the quiet. And when I started to pick up on that stuff, I was like, oh, fuck everybody. I went without friends in a lot of white neighborhoods. So I wasn't
Right.
going for it.
Right. The little jokes they be saying, but they really not joking. It's like they
Oh,
throwing
yeah.
shade. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah.
We
wildest
gotta
is
clock
that
all that.
the wildest is that where I'm from, I'm from East Hills here in the east side of Pittsburgh, which saying that they turned out to be Bloods at the end of like in the 90s or whatnot. But there's an elementary there. It's called East Hills Elementary International Studies. And this international studies, we had all type of students there. I'm talking about from India to white to it was just all type of just different type of races there. But as we at this age now, I'm 49 now, and I can go to these people right now, like they're like so cool right now. They're like not even on the subject of what's going on with Nolan and the one other little kid. What's the one kid who's supposed to be doing 35 years?
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, Carmelo, yeah, they don't even feel that. They're like, yo, why did this happen to them? You know what I'm saying? But yet here it is that they went to school in my neighborhood. My neighborhood was all black. You know what I mean? So they've been around us all their lives. You know what I'm saying? From elementary to middle school to high school. You know what I mean? The racism that never even came about. No, that's the craziest.
Yeah, that's very crazy when you put it in
Because they was
perspective.
raised in the same environment as you. They grew up in the same environment as you. They experienced some of the same things that you experienced.
And I feel like if it's a majority, if they're surrounded by a bunch of black people, then of course they're not going to show racism. I'm not talking about those particular people, but I'm just talking about, for instance, somebody who's not black in general. If they're around a bunch of black people, of course they're not going to act like they're racist, even if they low key are. Because it's just like when you like start a new school or something. If you don't know nobody, you be quiet. But then as soon as you start having friends, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you can start showing your character.
I'm glad you said
Right.
it like that. Two people too comfortable being racist. That's a lot of comfort in that. How you made 2-3 friends, now your ass is racist, and that's the truth.
Right.
That reminds me
is
of the movie Higher Learning. The nigga was cool with the motherfucking black people, until he got with them other people.
Yeah, I got a story about that higher learning. I had
learning that was my shit.
Yo,
used
but
to
the funniest is that I had I moved to Columbus for a while, but I took a break, and I had my boy. So my boy, he don't care about nothing. But the funniest is it's when higher learning came out. It was a snowstorm in Columbus, Ohio. We got on a bus to go to Northland Mall to go see higher learning. And when all the little racial stuff was going on in the midst of this movie, my man D, he turned around. He looked at it was a white couple behind us. He lit a cigarette up, blew it in her face, and he was like, "Oh, y'all like this, huh?" He's like, "If I get any one little smirk out of y'all," he said, "I'm gonna crush y'all." And I'm looking at him like, "Yo, we're not from here, yo. You can't do that, yo." You know what I mean? But that's just where that was his attitude. You know what I'm saying? In the midst of that, watching that movie, yo, that was the craziest. I will never forget that.
Yeah, that's some Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde shit.
Right. The music triggered him, huh?
Yo, the music, the movie, the whole thing. Like, and I felt bad for the little white couple. They was trying to watch the movie, you know what I'm saying, along with us. But he was like, "Yeah, y'all like this, huh?" He was like, that ain't gonna happen in real life right now. I'm like, dog, we're 3 hours away from home, yo. You can't do that right now.
I mean, with them going around hanging, drowning, and unaliving us the way they is, something got to happen real soon. Because I have boys, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going for it on the West Coast. We're not going for it.
But it's surprising how those white people, like, they are watching a racist movie, but low key, I like that. Like, you, I would have expected them to call the cops. I'm not gonna lie, they white. I would have. Hey, I'm
Oh no, that's when you get a free pass. It's just like when they go and watch those
nah.
slavery movies. They go and watch those slavery movies and then say, "Oh, y'all don't need no reparations."
Mm.
And I thought prisoners of war, like you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. Let's go to
I
the
mean,
next clip.
yeah. I mean, I'm just saying those white people should have called the cops because like these people over here call the cops on what's his name? Bert. Call the cops on Bert Simpson here, and we don't really know why. A lot of people think he is involved allegedly in the Nolan Wells case. So we're gonna play
I
this
know
quick.
why a lot of people think he's involved
And why is that?
because they said his name on that video on the emergency call to the tow company.
Mm.
They
Did they
said,
now?
"Damn it, Bart."
And they
Well,
And they probably
well,
did that on purpose. They were setting up their alibi then.
Right.
They knew they
they
was going
probably were.
to bus.
they're all guilty, yo. They all watched that happen. They all watched that unfold.
Yep.
And they all
But
incriminated themselves. They're not slick.
Right. And it's a lot of corruption.
Well, the Edomites feel that they're slick, yo. You know what I mean? They got a lot. They got away with a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, what really would kill me, uh, the thing amongst us, you know what I'm saying, and them was the postcards. They used to send out postcards of the hangings of our ancestors, a picture of it, you know what I'm saying, on a postcard, yo, and that was allowed. You know what I mean? I was just thinking about that the other day, like, yo, they sent postcards out with somebody hanging. Like, that's
And let's
crazy.
be real, that wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, that was the 60s.
I
Yeah.
feel like every symptom of racism, isolated and connected. If you take out whiteness, they're all mental illnesses. Every single symptom. You're talking about somebody with severe envy over a group of people, not one nigga, all of them. You need meds. You need a lobotomy.
That's the devil, yo. The devil hates us, yo.
Right. They need to go and
So,
listen to Lauryn Hill X Factor. We be trying, but they make it so damn hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're
we're
done.
definitely, we're definitely the hateful ones.
The
We're,
devil
we're,
can
we're not
go
the
suck
hateful
it.
ones.
yep, let's get right into this video.
Bump.
Breaking news tonight in the Nolan Wells investigation. Enhanced distress call audio bombshell.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd you say? Hey,
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
it's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
What did we just hear? What was that? One more time, please.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd you say? Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
Straight out to investigative reporter Crime Stories, Dave Mack. Did you just hear what I heard? Now, this has been transcribed, and this is the C-TOW dispatch call. Because, Dave, when I first heard this, I thought, has this been doctored? Is this real? Where's this coming from, Dave?
Nancy, this is coming from from Mississippi, from the actual official. Okay, when we get into the Mississippi Fish and Wildlife and at the reserve putting this out for the public, this is not like from Dave Mack's recording. This is an official recording, Nancy, that is being issued, and it's shocking when you listen to this call for a tow, for the C-TOW. Going further into it, Nancy, you're picking apart all of the different voices that can be heard on this one phone call, trying to determine what is really taking place on this boat that is allegedly sitting in 31 feet of water, a depth of 31 feet. And a bilge pump not working, claiming they're sinking.
These people are so full of shit.
Yo, the lies is unreal, yo.
This is
The
insane. How
lies
you
are unreal.
you are real inhumane to call a tow truck for a vehicle, but not call for a fucking airlift. Are you crazy?
Yo,
You need to be hospitalized.
just like as if Christopher Columbus had found America, man. They gonna
Right.
continue to lie.
They had called the tow people to try to get assistance or whatever, but when they connected the tow company to the Coast Guard said they had already spoken to the grandfather, and the grandfather said that they didn't need help, that they were okay. So it's something they're doing, covering up during that time period.
Didn't somebody just get arrested?
Well, it was videos going around that Warren was arrested, but I'm not sure if those were real.
Do I need to replay the video?
Because we know Warren stepmother is a judge in Mississippi.
Right.
Well, Bert, I always get his
Bart.
name wrong. Bart, whatever his name is, I believe he actually got arrested because his father put out $50,000 to actually find out the truth. And that was a video that I put out of the boy getting arrested 10 seconds later after certain stuff arose after people investigated. Bert, he got arrested, and his father ended up donating money to find out what actually happened as well.
While he was disrespecting the Nolan Wells, the Wells family.
Yeah, he put up
let's see
half
what
the
clip
amount
you
of
got.
Tyler Perry.
Mm.
Well, he
Let's
put
see
up
what
50,000. Tyler Perry put up 100,000
and the thing about this, his dad do pain management, doesn't he? So he got access to all kinds of different pharmaceutical medicine, right? Whatever they call it. Yeah.
They got a lot of resources because their parents do things. They got judges, doctors, police officers, lawyers. Like they got a lot of stuff that's actually,
And a generation of family that
yeah,
always stay in Mississippi, that don't go nowhere. It's just all the family is there running everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not funny, but the craziest is that it's just gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. Jacob's trouble is in a mist.
Yeah, but we're gonna play this next video off. Um, there's one video that we're not gonna play all the way through because we don't wanna, upload something that's not true or is actually true and is very, disrespectful to actually post. So if a video get cut off early, that's the video.
Y'all, they saying everybody about to snitch on Bart. They got Bart address. They got
Everyone's last sighting of Nono was him out of breath, coughing up blood on a basketball court at Evan house. Evan, Morgan, Wyatt, Warren, all y'all ass going to jail for murder. Y'all thought y'all was gonna kill Nono and ain't nobody was gonna find out about it? Let me break this shit down real short and sweet. They had a small altercation on Horn Island that was Wyatt and Nono. Nolan got into it with Wyatt. It was a small altercation. They didn't kill him on the island. That's what I'm trying to say. But let's fast forward. They go to Evan's pool party. They invite Natalie and Lucy. They trying to get some punani. And y'all know how that go with a black man. A young black man, a young stallion buck. Man, them white people wasn't feeling that. So Wyatt brings up the argument from earlier because they're all intoxicated. Liquid Courage got this nigga on one. They begin to jump Nono, beating the shit out of Nono. And guess who recording? Warren. They're laughing, egging on the situation, saying, get that nigga, get that nigga. My heart broke when I found out there was video surveillance of not only this brutal assault, but Nono is heard screaming, mama, mama. To put the icing on the cake, Evan family then made everybody invited to the party leave, but eerily made Nono stay. And if that's not enough proof, when Nolan's daddy went to go pick up his pickup truck from Evan's house after he was reported missing from Horn Island, they told him they couldn't find the key, but the girl, the insider, the one that's giving us all the information, she told Nono daddy the keys was on the Xbox. Y'all should have seen Warren's face. The little boy went to looking like, how the fuck did they know that? It was at that point they immediately lawyered up, and about 2 days later, Nolan was announced found. Because it happened at Evan's house, everybody thought they was gonna get away with the shit. We all stick to one story. He left, we don't know where he went. But you forgot something. You're tampering with evidence. You're obstructing a criminal investigation. On top of committing first-degree murder. Once they pull up these IP addresses, these phone records, these videos and photos, all y'all ass going under the jail with the lethal injection. You heard it here first. Nolan was killed by Wyatt, Warren, Evan, and Morgan. Conspiracy to commit murder, accessory after the fact. Let's get these charges going, can we?
Yeah, let's get it cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I don't really got faith in the justice system. You know what I mean?
Epstein had a habit of sweeping things under the rug.
Yeah, so I don't know why people is getting so you getting hyped up for the justice system to do their job. They ain't about to do their job like you think it's about to go down.
And what they gonna do when they don't do that job? For everyone they take of us, we take of them. That ain't gonna solve nothing.
I just hope people don't get their hopes up with this justice system they believe in, and they believe in this corrupt system so much they be voting for everybody.
I don't see what's so hard about it. You know what I'm saying? If anything happened to their kid, they would want to know the truth. You know what I'm saying? They need to see how it is when the shoes are on the other foot.
But here's the thing. They don't want to see how the shoe feels on the other foot if it's a black person's shoe. They don't want to touch anything dealing with a black person unless they're harming the black person. They'll rather wear an Asian person's shoe than a black person's shoe. Even though they hate us equally.
And they're not going to be looking for the truth because they're going to lie about it.
Because some of them want to be accepted.
Look at Emmett Till, you know what I'm saying? And so on and so on. Like, they're going to lie about it. They like my man mentioned about Rosewood, you know what I'm saying? There was a lie in that movie in Rosewood. You know, about a white woman getting raped
And
by
you
a
know
black
what?
man.
Rosewood really
We
ticked
can't use
me
that word.
off. What word?
Grape.
Rosewood really ticked me off when that Mason, that blacksmith, helped
Uh-huh.
out the guy that they were looking for just because they were Masons.
Mm.
So color don't matter at that point, even though it destroyed and hurt and unalived a lot of your people.
That's funny that you said that about the Mason thing. I remember when I was younger, uh, my grandpa, who was my guardian, my mom's dad, he got arrested. You know, for what I don't know. I was young, but we went to night court, and I remember sitting in the seat and sitting in the court, and my grandpa came out in cuffs, and he looked at the judge. They both nodded at each other, and my grandpa came home. You know what I'm saying, right then and there. And my mom told me, she was like, yeah, they're Masons. She was like, you know, they helped each other out. And I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That remind me of the Freemasons. Like maybe that shit was some symbolic shit. You know what I mean? I'm saying that's what the Freemasons be doing. You know what I mean? A bunch of bullshit.
I
And
mean,
they
you think about it, you don't know they in this club and they have all kinds of walks of life. They be judges, attorneys, congressmen, presidents. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So the protection is real. The money is there.
And that's why people don't believe in the justice system and shouldn't believe in the justice system, because the family with the money is mostly the ones more protected and is going to get through and mold crimes like what we're seeing today.
And
So
it's
terrible.
just too many. It's too many. It's too many people. Just in July, too many
It's gonna get worse.
unalive by another race.
In brutal ways too.
The hangings is killing me, yo. Why are they looking at the hangings as suicide? Like, how can you climb
Like
up a tree with your hands tied behind your back to hang yourself?
Right. They said a
with a
guy
bag over
unalived
you.
himself with a gun to the with a shot to the head. They said a guy unalived
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
There was a kid hanging at Delta University. Like, come on now. Come on now.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Like
that perpetual hate. They gonna hate us yo, until this all burned down.
It's like they trying to normalize it to where anybody and everybody will do it. Then our neighbors will be trying to do the shit to us.
it's getting to the point where you're barely hearing things about robberies, home break-ins, stuff like that. Like you heard about
Right.
kidnappings last when the Epsteins were coming out, whatever. You heard about that. But then now it's settled and now we got hangings basically happening every day of the week. Like
Drownings.
drownings, beatings, and then getting it called suicide. Like, come on, like
Yo,
we
we're not
wouldn't
gonna
do
kill
that
ourselves. Yeah, we're not gonna kill ourselves.
Right.
in
We're
And
that
not
not
gonna
by
do
no
way.
that.
hanging.
That.
I'll be honest.
I
Very few
definitely.
people will. Very, very few people will.
Hey, yo, I can see an Edomite doing that. A white man doing that, like as if, like, say for instance, he's a multimillionaire. Now all of a sudden he lost everything. He got 100 grand in his bank account. He'll jump the bridge. When one
Yeah.
of us, yo, give me 100 grand. I'm gonna flip that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this too. With crime, it's been so inflated for so long. Like, for example, I'm gonna share two things. For one, somebody in my building when I lived in downtown LA, just almost a year ago, coming up on his anniversary, the person passed away. They um by falling from the building. So in my mind, I'm gonna be honest, I lost my shit. I said, ain't no fucking way. It's a nice apartment. Everybody up in here cool as shit. Everybody chilling. bills is tough, but ain't nobody up in here fucking jumping off nothing. So I was like, it was either somebody was gonna be depressed as hell, lost and no resources. That's like a deep psychosis because this place is so alive. You walk outside, it's just liveliness. It's not the most happiest place in the world, but it was very lively. And then on the other hand, like how would you be in here as a renting apart? Like how would you? He had a dog. A lot of people they give signs that they really going to do that, and they take care of their pets. I'll be completely fucking honest. I don't know nobody with no pets who just left
They
them in there.
start giving away their things. They start giving away things and stuff like
Yep.
that.
Because
Yeah.
they know
I
what the
know
fuck.
for sure. I'll give my baby away.
Yeah, so it's like the signs, and none of those signs was present, and so it turned me into like a deep psychosis because the news didn't cover it. All right, so we getting back into the point that I was going to make about the news and what we hear about. For one, they didn't cover it because the main concept was that it was a suicide, and they ran with that. And like I said, I talked to enough people. I even talked to this person's dad. The news didn't do none of this. It was an unsolved case in my head. This is my freaking neighbor, and I'm like, ain't no news, ain't no answers. I was like, man, this gonna be on the news and I'll be settled. They come by, no news. In fact, the person body was there overnight. I say, get the fuck out of here. When I asked questions, I'm asking people who was there last night, went home, go to sleep, come back to work, and have to still deal with this. And the community is grieving and stressing out. So I'm saying, how do you rule something? How do you misrule something? How do you not investigate? How do you not ask questions? Well, here's one of the main things that made this so unbearable and difficult. One main thing was that because they ruled it as a suicide, it wouldn't get covered. Because one, they say they don't want to give out any ideas to other people who may follow. So that now says anything considered a suicide will not be taken to public. It would not be advanced to the public if it threatens the concept of a lot of other people going to do that, which I find to be bullshit. So then you got how do you penetrate that if everyone believes that lie? Because now I'm asking people who unfortunately seen with their own eyeballs, heard the noise, and then they added more points saying they heard voices. There was people up there. So yeah, fucking murder covered up. The coroner, everybody was so in on it, but yet it was like on some weird movie like maze type shit where you don't know who's connected. They don't even know that they're disconnected, making all this hell. You connect all the dots. All these people are the reasons why this isn't going. So now we don't hear about people drowning. We don't hear about people dying, falling, getting hurt because they claim, and this is a stupid claim, that other people are going to follow. So now you're telling us we don't deserve to know the truth, the living people. Dead people don't fucking need to know shit. We live in this neighborhood. So I said that to say a lot of these accidents, I knew people who drowned, didn't make the news. I'm like, well, so how am I knowing this? How do anybody know anybody's ever drowned? Look at how they treat death in Vegas. They don't want to cover it. Murder in Vegas. They don't want to cover it. And it's an entity.
It's gonna keep people from coming to tour. It's gonna bring down tourism.
Exactly. And that's an industry they're not willing to let up on at all.
Jeopardize. Yeah.
Yep. So all these things are not about the truth of a life. A full life, a full picture of someone's despair. This is about dead next. That's what it,
And
and I
then
don't respect that.
a lot of people got in an uproar because they felt like everybody was making it about race. But they have to understand, like, this stuff happened in Mississippi. This was somebody melanated that didn't return home from hanging out with YTs. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, it is a race
if
thing.
they're not giving us no answers on what happened, then
a white boy with a bunch of black people, it would be the same thing. They would have every
right.
right to say it got to be something tied to race, maybe, because
just like the Carmelo Anthony thing, they really pushed that to race quickly.
The white people, when they introduce to a bunch of black people, they be protected by them black people. The black people don't fucking leave them off there all fucked up. You know what I mean? They be
That's
protected.
because we're loving people. We got a good heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all white tees are like that, but we have a good heart and we're forgiving and stuff like that. But we're gonna have to do some tough love.
Yeah, we got to treat them the way how we being treated. Yeah, you got to look at it like, so we do it to each other. You know what I mean? We can go to another hood. It's like, brother, yo, what you doing here? You know what I'm saying? And jump on us. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a white man in that hood, they ain't gonna do nothing.
Exactly. White people look he could go to any hood and be straight.
We were taught wrong.
I ain't got no
Right. And they
I ain't got no
taking
reason
out
to know like
all
them.
the good ones. They taking out kids that's graduating school, going to school to be doctors, lawyers, professional athletes and stuff like that. Like
It's strategic to them.
they taking out people that have potential for leaders.
It
That's how I
seems
feel.
like a strategic plan of action.
Exactly.
Correct.
Yeah, it's unreal, yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's like with the athletes and the categories that they kind of push us in, it's like when we try to go for that, y'all get mad at it. But when we try to actually be something else, actually do something like a doctor, y'all don't want us, y'all make it hard for us to become doctors, so now we give up on being doctors and we end up being a streamer or being something else. No offense to streamers, but it's like y'all limited us and then be mad at what y'all limited us to, and when we exceed at it.
Yeah, but then they get mad when they see that it like just when what's his name? Just not Jesse Jackson, but Jesse Owens. What he do? Play he ran track and he won. Just like Serena and Venus Williams dominated the tennis industry. Just like Tiger Woods dominated the golf industry. You know what I'm saying?
Also,
Things
I
that
ain't gonna
they
put
said
Serena.
that we
I ain't gonna
don't
put
do,
Serena on
we did.
and also the
Serena.
track star that they try to pull back because they were saying her wig made her faster. I forgot her
Yeah,
name. I'm sorry for that.
What happened
you
to
But
her
talking about Sakura.
They said she was the black one.
Nah, but yo, I ain't gonna put Serena in there, yo. Serena married a white man, and Venus followed after. You know what I mean? And that be killing me right there. I'm like, yo, why you got the money to put back into your nation and into your community? Why are you gonna put it back into your oppressor?
the whole
Because
thing
when they
is,
get that
everyone's
money, they
doing that.
surround themselves with that because they want acceptance.
But my thing is, everyone is doing that. Why are we limiting it to those people? We got Beyonce not doing shit, but everyone
And
love
she
her.
married to a black man, and Jay-Z and them, they constantly go against the community.
Coons, raccoons.
Beyonce's a witch.
Is
Like we have a
Brandy
lot of
more
celebrities out
pretty than
here.
Aaliyah? No, Aaliyah is way more beautiful
How did that
in
topic come
my
up?
eyes. In my eyes, more talented in my eyes.
I'm gonna
Oh,
be honest. All of these people
is
hold
Brandy
no
more
weight in
pretty
my
than
mind.
Aaliyah?
I don't be thinking about these motherfuckers at all. You know what I mean? I be feeling like you
Mm,
are whatever side you choose on. That's cool. I'd rather know it. You know what I mean? All that other shit, I see through it. So it don't matter to me. I don't give a fuck about what these white motherfuckers doing.
yeah.
I don't give a fuck about what these celebrities doing. Cause I'ma still do me no matter what. In whatever situation I'm in, I'm gonna be good. You know what I mean? I already know what I'm gonna be on. So I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
So
I feel you. I feel you, D. I feel you on that. But yet, you should pay attention.
I'm always paying attention. I already know what these
It's like
motherfuckers is
like
on.
with Bill Gates.
I
You
already
know what I'm
know
saying?
what
Like
they know.
I don't think about no Bill Gates, but yeah, here it is. He's putting fake fruits in the stores.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They
He's
doing
making
that.
things happen where billions of people can die.
Yeah. I
He's
already
trying to
know they doing that.
depopularize.
I already
You
know
know
they
what I
doing
mean?
that. I see all of that shit. I don't fuck with none of that. All of these people, I already know what they on. I don't believe
Yeah,
in none
but
of these motherfuckers. Especially Bill Gates. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
he's a fake devil. He's a devil. He's a child. He's a child of Satan.
But
You know.
but yeah, I think Aaliyah's cute. She's pretty.
No, Ashanti is.
Don't
They're
know who
both
that is.
beautiful.
So
Ashanti is the one that's married to Nelly.
Yeah.
whoever's married to Nelly is smelly. I'm just kidding.
I'm mad. I'm
Monique is
mad.
always beautiful to me. I love me some Monique.
Don't leave my out. My is hard too. I like my too.
But let's get into this next video.
Is anybody aware of who Nolan Wells is related to? Because that in itself makes this case so much more suspicious. According to statements and posts shared by members of the Wells family, turns out Nolan Wells is actually a descendant and relative of the legendary civil rights activist, might I mention, Ida B. Wells. And if you're unfamiliar with who Ida is, please allow me to educate you. First of all, Ida was born on July 16th, 1862 in Holly Springs, Mississippi, into slavery. Like it says here, after the Civil War, her father was a trustee at Russ College, where she attended until 1880, dropping out after she passed her teaching exam. But like it says here, in the fall of 1878, Wells Barnett's family died in a yellow fever epidemic, and at age 16, she became the primary caretaker for her 6 remaining siblings. She became a school teacher to support her family and eventually moved to Memphis, where she worked in Shelby County, Tennessee. And like it says right here, on May 4th, 1884, Wells Barnett undertook her commute to Shelby County on the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. She purchased a first-class ticket to sit in the ladies' car, but the conductor ordered her to move to the smoking car. After being forcefully dragged off the train, Wells Barnett noted that the white passengers stood on the seat so that they could get a good view and continued applauding the conductor for his brave stand. She retaliated, like you can see, by suing the Ohio Railroad Company and initially won compensation for the harassment. However, the Tennessee State Supreme Court later reversed the decision. Years down the line, in 1889, she joined the Free Speech and Headlight as a partner and editor. Her desire to own a newspaper grew during this period of increased writing activity, and 2 years later she exposed the poor conditions of the Memphis public school system. As a result, she was fired from her position as a school teacher, prompting her to pursue journalism full-time. But her writing took a pivotal turn, like it says here, in 1892 when her close friend Thomas Moss was lynched. Moss, Calvin McDowell, and Henry Stewart, owners of the People's Grocery Store in Memphis, were lynched for threatening the economic dominance of a local white grocer. Like it says here, Wells Barnett investigated the incident and reported her findings in Free Speech, exposing inconsistencies in the official narrative and highlighting Memphis's racial prejudice. And in response, a white mob actually set fire to the Free Speech office. She was forced to leave Memphis, and as a result, lynching became the center of her research. And like it says here, she continued investigating cases across the eastern seaboard, traveling and writing about injustices along the way. And in 1892, she published the pamphlet Southern Horrors: Lynch Law in All Its Phases, which describe how lynch mobs formed and the common excuses white officials used to justify these acts. The following year, she was hired by the Chicago Inter-Ocean to investigate lynching in the American South. She went undercover and published her findings in the newspaper. Years down the line, though, by 1894, she had returned overseas, spreading awareness of lynching and racial oppression in the United States. And she actually lectured throughout the United Kingdom, like it says here, addressing misconceptions about lynching and inspiring the formation of the London Anti-Lynching Committee. She also criticized the lack of support from white women in the suffrage movement. And upon returning to Chicago, Wells Barnett was welcomed by the Ida B. Wells Club, a women's club named in her honor. Active in women's rights issues, she consistently advocated for the rights of women, black women, and the broader black community. This, like it says here, often caused friction within some white-dominated suffrage organizations. Her relationship with Susan B. Anthony reflected these tensions. She respected Anthony's pioneering work, but criticized her failure to prioritize black women's concerns in order to maintain white women's support. So, Wells Barnett helped found several suffrage organizations for black women, including the League of Colored Women, the National Association of Colored Women, and the Alpha Suffrage Club, which uplifted the concerns of working class women regarding race, gender, and class. Nolan Wells died from an apparent drowning after disappearing during a July 4th weekend boat trip to Horn Island. His body was recovered on July 6th, but the condition of which his body was found in is extremely disturbing. But a private autopsy included multiple limitations in the report, and that in itself is extremely concerning to me. I truly hope that the Wells family is able to receive justice, but I would not be surprised, especially considering his connection to Ida B. Wells, if they did not.
And make sure we
Oh
check out
man,
them TikTokers and check out
I'm
their
like,
content.
I'm like, God damn, that's a long-winded white boy. I'm like, God damn, that nigga is long-winded. You know what I mean? And he acting like niggas really can't read. He had to read every page from the Wikipedia that we could have read to us. You know, I don't. That shit was funny as a motherfucker. That nigga was long-winded though.
I was trying to sit here. I was trying to sit here and figure out if he was white or albino.
That nigga is white.
Albino,
That nigga is white.
their hair is
handsome.
match their skin, I believe.
Some of them have red hair, right? Was his
They're
hair
ginger.
red?
They say
Redheads
that
are ginger.
they say that if they
Girl.
got red necks, they got nigga in them. You know.
So they say.
That's what they say. Red necks,
But-
red hair. They say they got some nigga in them somewhere.
But yeah, how do y'all feel when he said like he don't think that they're gonna get justice due to their connection with their, ancestors?
I'm gonna be honest.
They ain't.
I stopped paying attention to the nigga. The nigga was just
A
talking.
lot of people haven't been getting justice in the state of Mississippi.
Black people don't get justice in the state of Mississippi. Never did and probably never will.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
And they're still trying to bring back the Jim Crow law there. So it's like, is it really gonna get better when they're trying to do that?
It's so weird because Virginia is so much worse, and yet they don't. Okay, y'all remember when they was doing them the Walmart tiki torches? Like, are you like that had to be peak cringe? Y'all didn't just want to burn some shit. Y'all burnt anything that would hold the flame, and you literally picked a tiki torch with kerosene in it or some shit, oil or gas. Like,
I remember hearing something about that.
Okay. I heard all that stuff too, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, white Americaning again, nothing new. But then
burning shit down.
Yep, over their emotions. I think I watched the documentary, and it either introduced or outroed all of those videos of white people doing rah rah up and down videos, marching, groups, anger, hate, fire. And every last one of those videos were angry mob of white marching people. All of them were here in Virginia, and I'm in Virginia. So I was like, no diversification. Y'all, not one of these is in Minnesota or something. Like, no. All of those types of people were in Virginia. All of those videos took place in Virginia. Any group of large people walking down a street. So, and then for Mississippi to be like okay, because Mississippi came second or next, not first. Virginia is the place that they landed here. King James was like, go fuck this shit up, bring me back my money and pay your taxes. Them white folks was the only slaves they had. They was talking about work. When they codified our race through Virginia, that's when they said being black is illegal, and here's how and why. Here's your 2 out of 3 human being right here. You're gonna stay this way, and they included laws like bastardization. Like if you are the bastard child of a white slave owner, enslaver, or somebody of whiteness and power, you will not receive any beneficiary effects from that parent. That is your parent, not just. So we have to, in some forms, we have to be very delicate when we talk about white people and their problems, because these are human beings. We're human beings. They're capable of what human beings are capable. They're not superstitious, magic power people because they lack melanin. If that was a power, they would have used it already. It's actually an opposite effect. Like I said, while I was telling Derek earlier, sorry, I was talking to my boy, BV Yosai earlier, and I was like, damn, like, it's crazy how all this is taking place, but Virginia started all of this with the codification. I had to look this up. Bacon's Revenge or Bacon's Revolt, something like that. And it was because a white man decided he was going to, because white people have power, like situationally, especially if you don't have it directly connected to the source and you got it off your own grit. They know that shit is fragile. So when they saw this white dude who was formerly enslaved link up with the black people who were also enslaved, because the immediacy of it is black folks know their problems, I'm gonna go to them. But here's the story they tell us in history. They tell us about that one dude who brought out all the guns, and the Navy surrounded him and those black people and shot them into Swiss cheese. This is not that story. This is not that story where niggas saw those guns and was like, you are a crazy white man, you're gonna get us killed. This is where these niggas got together and said, you got damn right, let's go fuck some shit up. White people were so freaking afraid of that they codified race immediately after, so that poor white people felt like their domain was poor black people. So black people's biggest gripe isn't whiteness as a concept, it's power through how white people decide to pour into their systems. So King James in England rewrote his version of the Bible, and they have stories between the Bible and I believe possibly the Quran that black skin is related to Ham and it's a curse. And let me tell you how that curse went, because this is not stuff you got to go and research for hours by yourself to figure out. The curse was, here's Ham. I think it was Ham who did the curse. I might have the names wrong, so let me just say it in more vaguely. A man is drunk naked. His son walked in. I believe it's Ham who walked in. He saw him, right? Oh, then he goes and tell his two brothers, hey, daddy up in there drunk and naked, ass all
That
out,
was,
dick all out. He
that
just
was, that was Noah. That was Noah.
Noah. Okay, thank you. It was Noah who cursed Ham. So when he found out his son cursed and told his business, he said, bitch, fuck you. Your kid's gonna be slaves forever. And they then attached black skin to Ham and said all of descendants of brownness, blackness are cursed and they will be enslaved. All because a nigga got caught naked with his dick out and said, fuck you and your family. So that's how that got construed into, we're going to continue to push this lie that black people are descendants of one sole black person. There's only a few people on earth who really think that everybody came from two fucking white people, Adam and Eve, and that they were white and that Jesus was white.
They weren't. They weren't. No, it weren't. No, the whole Bible was black, yo.
Yeah, no, I know. I know it comes from Ethiopia. The first Christian Bible is in Africa. So for the rewriting of all of this, my point is that they
They're from
restructured
Shem.
it. They restructured it in their religious beliefs. They restructured it in their contextual law. They made it illegal, which does not mean immoral. It just means we will find you, we will hunt you, we will put you up under this jail cell, and we will grow flowers out your body. That's what that means. And that is a huge threat. White people's threats are not small and mundane and things that you can go about your day with. White people's threats are, I'm going to fucking incinerate you, and I'm going to make money off of that shit.
And they'll take it out on your whole bloodline.
They will keep you, they will
Yeah,
incarcerate
but
you.
the thing is that they tried to take it out on our whole bloodline, yo. But yet, you know what I'm saying, by being God's Atlantic slave trade, how many people had jumped off them boats? You know what I mean? So it definitely wasn't enough. They can't get rid of us. You can't get rid of something that God have a promise with. You know what I'm saying? God had a covenant with a certain nation, and all you gotta do is look in Deuteronomy.
God could have cursed us, and all this shit could be true about black skin, and I wouldn't give a fuck. You don't have
But,
a
but
right.
God's black. God's black, so he's not going. He's not really going too much. The thing is that when a child is disobedient, the parent chastise, and that's what happened with a certain nation when it wasn't God, it was Christ. Christ is the one who made this nation. You know what I'm saying? Christ is like, yo, he's like, it was a certain nation, which was Israel, is my people. Christ was the only one that was created by God. He was the only begotten. Begotten means he's the only one. From there, yo, you know what I'm saying? Christ was the forever Father. This is in Isaiah 9:6. He said they said Christ. They said Christ was the counselor, was the everlasting Father, and he was the God. He was the God of this nation.
So a prophet and a prophecy has to be accepted by the people. I don't personally, I've lived long enough to see certain things lived long enough to see cycles. I don't look the age I am, but once I hit this age, I was like, okay, which I'm still in the same year. So it's not like, hey, once I hit this age 10 years ago. No, literally, as this is unfolded in my adulthood, that I'm transitioning from young adult to actual mature adult, not older, mature, grown up. I've been in different black militant groups, freedom fighting type groups, pre Black Lives Matter, or the primordial energy of Black Lives Matter before it became. I've been in different religious groups. I've been a part. I've been silently, quietly, closely related to Nuwapians. I've heard of all these different tribes and communities and black folks, and whatever you do as a people is your business. You could be a white group of people from under the nearest rock, and y'all worship a fucking starfish from under the sea. That's not my business, and it's not my job to tell you that you worship in the wrong sea star. You should be worshiping this sea sponge. You should be worshiping this coral. The process of worship is indigenous to whomever does that worship. So when people say black people are not monolithic, they mean things like cultural practices and rituals. So for us to not be monolithic, the only thing that really keeps us together is that we are human beings. The thing that scares people is lack of trust. Yet we know we can't trust people in this country. So what we have to do is take back a lot of our energy, because we put it out and we expect it to do things that it will never do. We can't. A lot of people fight which prophet is who, which one is real. They might be both Christian and Muslim, but they don't accept Jesus. They accept Muhammad. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Honest
But
to God or the universe, it doesn't matter. You cannot use that to bomb somebody. You can't use none of that shit to put people in cages, to rip children from their mothers and fathers, to take their fathers and put bags on their heads, chain them up in the back of cars, and say this is because you're illegal, and then we have a right to do this, while you don't have a right to walk your feet on this ground.
Well, I
And
mean, those that's happening too right now. You know what I'm saying? As part of the nation of Israel. I mean, if you look at it as, you know what I'm saying, the people. It's funny that we're on this subject now. You know what I'm saying? Other than, you know what I'm saying, the Nolan Wells. You know what I'm saying? But yet, the Nolan Wells, it falls up under this, which is the Jacob's trouble. Okay, Jacob, who was the son of Isaac, and Isaac was the son of Abraham. This is who the covenant that God had with, you know what I'm saying, the promise. He had a promise with this certain nation, which was with Jacob, and he changed his name to Israel. If you go into Daniel, you go into Revelation, you know what I'm saying, that Daniel and John, they seen what God and Christ looked like. They was black. So when they went to the certain nation, when they had a certain the certain promise with a certain nation, which was Judah and Israel, it was split at the one time. You know what I mean? But with Judah and Israel, you know what I'm saying, they were all black. These are the people that went to the western part of Africa and on the ships and went to the four corners of the earth. When people say that it's not my business, especially when they are melanin, it's all your business.
No, I said specifically that what other black people or what other people of any race practices is not my concern. When I said not my
Okay, I feel that. Yeah, because like my dad's Muslim. I remember back in the day, Chuck E. Cheese, yo. My mom gave my dad some money to go get 2 pizzas. He came back with no cheese on it. And my mom flipped out on it. She said, my kids are not Muslim. The thing is that's, you know, what you mentioned about right there, yeah, that's, you know, saying all them religions is all fake. You know what I'm saying? There's not a such thing as a religion. It's nothing but laws and commandments. If Christ says do this, that's a commandment. You just go and do it. You feel me? You just go and do it.
That sounds like something I would do if
like
God
how
said
we
it.
gotta
Christ was a
go
man.
and do this next
Yeah.
video. You know how I mean? You know, I'm getting that message that we need to get to that next video. Oh, it's hot. The Holy Spirit. Oh my goodness. Yes.
I know half of y'all don't care, and I know half of you guys will not even repost this, but this is serious and we need to demand justice. Let's talk about Trey Reed because his story cannot and will not get swept under the rug. 21-year-old Trey Reed, a black student at Delta State University, was found hanging from a tree on campus early Monday morning. He was discovered near pickleball courts around 7 a.m., and the university canceled classes and even their centennial celebration because of the shock. But like always, the police always say they don't suspect foul play. But let's be real. When a young black man is found hanging from a tree in Mississippi, you do not just brush that off. You investigate every inch of that scene because our history in this country makes it impossible to just ignore it. On social media, people are demanding answers. Some are claiming Trey Reed had injuries like...
She was breathing the fuck out that mic.
She really is. She holding it way too close.
That's all I was hearing.
But it was on the topic that we were discussing on with lynching. Is
Yeah, we need to rally behind all these people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest too. Black Lives Matter. Okay, because I mentioned earlier I was a part of a lot of different militant groups, a lot of different freedom fighter groups, a lot of groups that were on the ground, boots on the ground, ready to get some justice for black people. And I'm not talking about setting the bank on fire. I'm talking about occupying a prison to get somebody out who was unlawfully, incarcerated, getting mothers access to menstrual cycle needs and inside the prison, getting mothers access to their kids, getting them resources when they get out of prison. I was part of shit like that. So seeing how Black Lives Matter started itself and burrow itself in the truth of our nature, which is similar to how the civil rights movement started. It was like, okay, we got Rosa Parks, which by the way, she was used in place of another woman who had the exact same story, because it's not like you won't get a lot of black people going through the same thing. They decided, let's pick the light skinned lady, and because she's not out of marriage, it's gonna work for Christian America, which is also Black America. So now we picking and who to pander to our sad stories to, because at the end of the day, we need people to rally. But when Black Lives Matter was starting up 2013-ish, you already had several deaths. 2011, I think, was Tamir Rice. By 2013, we had I believe Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice. I found out about a little girl who was shot and killed by a police officer in Detroit. He was he was given a leave, and he was allowed and able to retire and live off of the city funds to this day. So I'm saying all of this because when Black Lives Matter started, I was so fucking disgusted. There was not enough of this energy for us to decide. It didn't last long enough. I just got out of high school. By the time I wasn't even out of high school when Trayvon Martin died. He died both of our graduating year. We are the same age. He died January, I think, 2013. So, graduation is summer. So, with that said, these moments, like any other set of really bad things, are the proof and the precedent to show up with needs, demands, proof. Like I said, hey, y'all, this is not okay. Here's all of this stuff happening. We need some changes. We ain't in here with no guns, but we need some changes where people were going to represent ourselves. That came to a halt by the time Black Lives Matter got their hands on it. And I want to say, I'm going to have to do my research, but I want to say that they got the same energy as, I believe, the Africans, possibly Nigerians, who run the Shade Room and those other, I believe it's the Shade Room specifically. So what the Shade Room does is similar to World Star, but it's more like Black Lives Matter. They'll take black things, squish them together, and then give you kind of like some bullshit. And I'm telling you, Black Lives Matter definitely was doing that, because with every story that was supposed to get added to our cause, and we march for it, and we say, hey, our voices are louder together. Here's another young mom who lost her baby through some shit that should have never happened. Not all of these stories is even police brutality. Not all of these stories is even foul play. It's just systemically not getting the attention. So now that some people are saying, well, if somebody decided for Black Lives Matter to be about like a reconstructed version of the civil rights movement because somebody wanted to play hero. That's why Black Lives Matter went up and down the way it did, because they heroified it, made it seem like we got a movement, and then somebody took all the credit, took all the money, wiped all the accounts, and left every single chapter that was building themselves because they did not go out and found these chapters. I knew some chapters in New York that was local that started they fucking self. And people were so serious and down. They said, fuck it, we're just gonna start. We're gonna start mutual aid. We're gonna find these people, we're gonna rally, and they ain't have no other way of making no money. They didn't go to a job down the street cooking spaghetti in an Italian restaurant in New York. They come back and say, I'm gonna just make some phone calls, and that was a full-time life. So I'm telling you from my experience, seeing how bad that was because we had grifters involved. Grifters are very keen people. They're very sharp. They're very fast. They see an opportunity. They are scammers. Okay, the same with the shade room. Those are not people saying we just want to get some tea and we want to get the entertainment going. No, they want to tear people down and they want to constrict what we see ourselves as. And that's what the Black Lives Matter thing did. It made it so racially codified. Like we don't already have that stress. That all of the problems that were not even related to race but had to do with being black, they got pushed in with it. Now Black Lives Matter is the energy behind it is I'm black and I matter more than anything. It was never we wanted it to be Black Lives. It means Black Lives also matter. But Black Lives Matter literally because of the way it was directed by the people who mishandled that shit on our behalf, made it about no lives will matter until Black Lives Matter. That is a militant page out of Mr. 100 Man March book or Million Man March.
You
That's a
talking
page
about
out his.
Farrakhan?
Yeah. How you gonna give us Farrakhan level views off of a grassroots national organization?
George Soros got involved. That
I heard that
motherfucker.
name. I'm not let me look it up.
He's some big time Jewish motherfucker. He got involved, and once he got involved, politics got involved. Then they tied it to Democrats. You know what I mean? So then it became about some politics and shit.
I'm
Because
disgusted.
at the beginning, it always start off the right way, but there's always somebody who infiltrate the shit.
I don't think they had enough room to
Just
start off
say the
right.
white man, yo. Just say the white man.
At this point,
that's George Soros,
Well, he Jewish. He not even white. White is so
them
weird.
niggas, he's a fake Jewish. You know what I mean? He's not. They taking heritage away.
Hey, he's Jewish.
Yeah, he's
Jewish. Yeah, the fake Israelites.
Like they all the same shit to me. You know what I mean? All of these motherfuckers is
the Israelis.
People, listen. All this giving money away, it sounds real cute when you're fucking broke. How the fuck did he give away $220 million to racially led backed equity bullshit? You gonna want that money back 5-10 times. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be a trillionaire. Every dollar you have, you want that shit to go and multiply itself. You want it to go fuck some more money and make money babies. That's how these people feel.
It's an investment.
Pushing an agenda, unless it's pushing an agenda that's going to make you 10 times more.
They connected to all that shit. You know what I mean?
It's always about how can you pay for
They
something.
connected to all of this shit.
So just like how Mr. Beast runs. Mr. Beast, he gives out money, but those videos makes him money.
Terrible grifter. I'm sorry.
How?
I'm sorry.
How?
How y'all feel about Officer Tatum? Or what's
Hold on. Let Nation answer this question real quick because this saying is awful, but you're not giving no reason how it's awful. I'm just giving a reason. He gives out money and it does make
I
him
was
more
just saying he was
money.
gifted. What you said was facts. He does do that, but you got to be deeply psychologically fucked up person to say I'm going to help this homeless person. This $1 going to turn into my $15. I got a team of 300 niggas, and I'm gonna keep about 10 of those dollars, and they're gonna fight over 60 cents. That's what's really happening.
You saying Mr. Beast is not that type of person to think like that?
No, I'm saying
the
that's
funny thing is that you got to be a messed up person when you're gonna record helping someone.
It's like a mad scientist. It's like they play all these psychological games and running these tests and like low-key experiment to see how far you will go for this amount of money.
Hey, intention
People
or
are
attention?
jeopardizing their integrity for millions and thousands of dollars, and they still
Yes.
won't be happy at the end of the road.
So
They
was my
keep putting it in
example a good
movies.
example?
They keep putting it in movies, and it just go right through us. The
Remember
fucking
bum
Hunger
fight?
Games.
Remember bum fight?
Right.
Remember when they used to have bum fights? They used to pay bums to fight. They had that,
That's
to ban
insane. That
shit.
is so violent. That is so violent. Not just Hunger Games.
It's just like that one guy that paid people to eat hot ass food.
I never seen that. That's also crazy.
That shit be having me dying. I be cracking up when they eat that spicy shit.
Mr. Beast is Squid Games. Them people be dying to
There's
get
a
in there. They know
robotic
that.
noise going on. There's a robotic rubber.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, it's when you talk, Celeste.
I hear when
In
you
the
talk.
last days, in the last days, the truth shall come out.
So Kevin and Celeste, y'all need to fix your mics. While y'all fix your mics, I'll play a video and we'll hop back on topic and stuff like that.
Now let's get to Janet. I'm trying to figure out why she wore the Tupac shirt, right? Everybody knows that the Michael Jackson movie came out in 2026. It made me think about the time he was unalive, 2/26. That's a side pattern. So the BET Awards was on June 28th. Michael Jackson passed June 25th. I can see why she's wearing that over her head because she's in mourning. But what does Tupac have to do with it? So let's look up Tupac. Tupac passed away when he was 25. And now I'm like, what happened to Michael Jackson when he was 25? Michael Jackson was 25 years old when he suffered severe 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Sparks ignited in his hair while he was performing on stage at Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. This is where it all connects. Pay attention. Make note that California is the same state he passed away in, and the same state he burned his hair. So I look up who owns the auditorium where it all started. It's operated by AEG. AEG was the concert promoter behind Michael Jackson's This Is It tour.
I'm talking to AEG about London.
Stop right there because there's specific information about Michael Jackson that does not want to be revealed right now. What I was about to tell y'all in connection with BET, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Tupac, all of the stuff that's coming together with that, there's been some problems recording that. First, the original video glitch, and I had to take all of the videos down.
He was about to move to Las Vegas. He was about to make his new Wonderland in Las Vegas. Is that what is? Too deep. I'm going to my YouTube channel. We're going to finish this connection.
See how the audio glitched. Then I go to re-record it, and this pops up when I open the camera.
Shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain where there are no more fuck-ups to shut.
The universe, my ancestors, the divine spirits that are in charge of this whole situation that is coming to life is clearly speaking to me that I have to reword this or make this in a different form. Some doors are not ready to be opened. Some knowledge is not for sharing and explaining, and it's important to have discernment on that, no matter how powerful it is. So I'm going to figure out a way to reword this or reroute this. I gotta find a different door to open because that door is not ready to be opened. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.